So this is the final day of the Biden presidency, the Biden administration, and tomorrow is Armageddon. Seriously, it's going to be that bad. It is that terrifying. I've been doing some foreign TV today. I'll do some tomorrow, and it's interesting. They put me on with the people who are speaking for Trump, who it's not just hyperbole; they are lying, and they know they are lying. And we've seen this with pundits on America TV, these Republican MAGA pundits on American TV as well. And you see them all over social media, and they start saying things like, oh, the horrible Biden presidency and the horrible economy. And they know this isn't true. These are not the unwashed, toothless, MAGA red hat wearing idiots that go to the rallies and that sort of thing. These are people who know better. These are people who know better. And they are saying and doing this anyway. That is a problem because they're so reckless about it. I was on TV for 17, 20 years, thousands of times with lots of people. And people do engage in some hyperbole, but to out and out lie, and like they're not even trying anymore. This is just the line because the media is telling them that people think the economy is bad, for example. Well, the media, as we've talked about before, is not supposed to talk about the economy in terms of what people think. They're supposed to report what the economy is so that what people think about the economy is then accurate. And when the media reports that people think the economy, the Biden economy is bad, they don't even bother correcting it. The Biden economy is just about the best in the history of this country, okay? The best in the world. And when our economy is good here at home, it affects the rest of the world. And yet, this very excellent president, one of the best, certainly in my lifetime, and I'm old as dirt, is leaving office with people, with these low approval ratings because media basically lied. And they let MAGA get away with lying. And that's where we are. So as we're sitting here freezing in the blizzard here that I'm experiencing, I'm looking out the window and thinking, oh my. And I'm thinking of those MAGA folks that all traveled to Washington thinking they were going to see Trump. Look, we've had inaugurations in far worse weather than this. And Trump's just a wimp. He doesn't want the small crowd sizes. He doesn't want the comparison. Doesn't want to mess up his hair. Oh, by the way, that's the only reason that the whole hat wearing thing started. Trump started wearing the Make America Great Again hat, the MAGA hat. Now, at first they weren't red. They were all different colors. And he did it because when he was running in the primary and he took his Trump chopper to land at the fairgrounds at Iowa, the Iowa caucuses, you've got all the candidates running around there. And Trump was going to have to campaign outside. Well, we know that rat's nest of a mess on his head can't survive regular weather and being outdoors campaigning for a whole day. It's designed to hold up for, a camera shot or between commercials on The Apprentice so they can go fix it again and spray it into place. But especially when you're getting off a helicopter and there's all that breeze from that, the wind from that. And Trump didn't want that. So Trump started wearing the trucker cap for his own hair issues, his own hair insecurity, and that freaky pompadour thing that he does. And then other people started doing it as a thing, and then they turned to just red hats. But that's the reason why it's a hat thing to begin with. And his stupid followers don't even know that. It's because Trump has weird hair and is very sensitive about it. He doesn't want to have hair like a real man because he's not a real man. We know this. Anyway, we've got Joe Biden, best president of my lifetime, the best economy ever. He leaves office with a couple points. A couple things I want to point out to you. Inflation is now at about 2%, which is excellent. But if you ask MAGA that, or actually asking regular, not even non-MAGA people that, they don't know that because the media will not report that truth because they are so terrified of offending Trump with the truth. The good things about Joe Biden and his presidency. Forget about reporting on Trump's crimes, immorality, treason, fraud. lies, killing democracy, killing the rule of law. Forget about all that sleaze. They won't report the truth about Trump, but now they won't even report the truth about Joe Biden because they're terrified of offending Trump. So I'll tell you, inflation at about 2%, best economy um, maybe ever, certainly in decades. And this is what Trump is inheriting. An economy that Elon Musk says they're going to tear down because you have to tear it down in order to rebuild it. They aren't going to rebuild it. They're tearing it down to loot it, to loot us, the oligarchs, the billionaires. And Trump knows this, but he's getting his cut. That's what this meme coin, this whole thing is, or he just made the, what is it, up to $32 billion on paper. It is a way for other people to just dump billions of dollars directly into his account that's not traceable, for which he's not accountable. It's called bribes. So he's put the for sale sign open that account, and now that's what they're going to be doing. And MAGA are too stupid to know this. And the other folks that aren't too stupid to know this are just hoping they get their cut. They get their careers. They get to be a part of all this. That's what they care about. Those are the ones that are out there telling lies and know they're telling lies. Okay, inflation at 2%. Do you know that Joe Biden is the only president in the history of our country to see job creation, job growth every month of his presidency, every single month? That has never happened in the history of the United States of America. Joe Biden did it. And he did it on the heels of the Trump pandemic. And remember, that pandemic was not there the whole Trump presidency. So you can't blame his failures on the pandemic. You can blame the pandemic on Trump, though. We know that now from Bob Woodward's book. Trump is responsible for hundreds of thousands of preventable American deaths during the pandemic. But he lied a lot. And those people will never be returned to their loved ones. And we just blow right past that, don't we? Okay. So Biden, job creation, job growth every single month of his presidency. In fact, just last month in December, did you know that under Biden, in 1 month, there was more job growth than the entire presidency, the entire 48 months of the Trump presidency? That is pretty freaking amazing. And yet, if the media talks about that, that will anger Trump, so they can't do that. So not only can you tell the ugly truths about Trump, you can't even tell the wonderful truths about Joe Biden and his presidency. That's how far down the rabbit hole we are with fascism already, before Trump has even been sworn in. And as I mentioned in one of my shorter videos earlier today, I think I mentioned this, the German ambassador to the United States has sent a memo to their government and presumably to others in Europe. And now Reuters is publishing this little tidbit. The ambassador is warning the rest of Europe to brace itself for Trump. He's dangerous. They know this. They've been there before with him, and now they know that he'll be even worse. They're saying that he is disruptive and that the U.S. Law enforcement and media are no longer independent. So that's why I've recommended to you folks that try and seek out foreign media sources that will report honestly on us. The Guardian, UK Guardian, was good, but I think they've been sold, so now that's going to change a little bit. But when I come across some that I feel comfortable recommending, I will. And it might be with caveats. I might not know much about it, but I think that is the way to go, is the independent journalism, these YouTube channels, the podcasts, that sort of thing. And foreign media is where we're going to be getting our information, because our legacy media, they're gone. And we know that already. And the personalities on TV, maybe on MSNBC that you like, remember they have to report to their corporate bosses. They have to obey. And they are obeying in advance. That's how this works, right? In the era of Trump. And Trump is throwing his weight around. He wants to show people what he can do. I still think that he probably blackmailed Snoop Dogg, who was at some of the P. Diddy parties. And he wants people to know that he can blackmail them. He wants everybody to be terrified of him. And it's working. It's working. So when you have this information about the Biden presidency, Biden is the one who is responsible for the ceasefire in Gaza and the return of the hostages. So when you are told otherwise, when Trump is trying to take care of it, that is a lie. And so I'm on TV with an idiot who claimed, well, Trump is tough. And that's why they're doing it. That's why this is happening. He's tough. It's like, no, he's not. He's insane. He's an idiot. He's evil. And they know it. The rest of the world knows it. He's threatening to use military force against NATO allies so he can take them over. This is what Putin did in Ukraine. When Trump says he'll end the war between Russia and Ukraine, no wars, well, that means capitulating, having Ukraine capitulate to Russia. This is not a war, an equal war between Russia and Ukraine. Russia, Putin invaded Ukraine because they want its resources, just like Trump wants to invade Greenland if they don't just join in, peacefully. And I was on TV with some guy who was saying, well, it's up to the people of Greenland, not Denmark, the people of Greenland if they want to be a part of the United States. Well, no, they don't want to be. There's no evidence that they want to be. That's not how this works. And why would they want to be when Trump is threatening military action if they don't go along peacefully? I mean, come on, folks. It's already too late to make the claim that the people of Greenland would really like to be a territory of the United States. They don't. You can force them into it. You can blackmail them. We'll never know the truth because our media won't report it. Trump can do to them what he did to Snoop Dogg, what I think he did to Snoop Dogg, to make it seem like Snoop Dogg is now full on MAGA and really, really wants to perform at these, Trump inaugural events and parties. What a way to celebrate Martin Luther King Day, right? And if you recall, Snoop Dogg had very sharp words for any Black artists who were going to perform at the first Trump inauguration. Doubt he went MAGA in that time. So this is what Trump is doing. And he does want the more sophisticated people who pay attention to these things to understand his power. He expects the unwashed masses and the idiots to believe, for example, that Snoop Dogg suddenly now, supports him. But he wants the rest of us to know, better be afraid, because he'll do it to you too. That is his message. That's his message. So we saw that he ordered Speaker Johnson to dump the chair of the Intel Committee. Right? Turner. Was it Turner? Yeah. Because he supported funding Ukraine and he refused to vote to censor Adam Schiff in that shameful fraud that Republicans in Congress are perpetuating. So again, this is not a democracy. Trump is a dictator. This is authoritarianism. This is fascism. He controls our media now. He controls our judiciary with his corrupt Supreme Court picks and the other corrupt judges that he has around the country, such as Eileen Cannon in Florida. This is what MAGA voted for. They think he's on their side. And then they start figuring out that he's not. And they're acting all hurt and surprised. It's like, oh, did you think he was just going to be a thug to other people? Oh, dear, sweet child. Idiots. They will find out, and it's still too late for all of us. It really is. We're still going to hang in there and share information. We're still going to protest. We're still going to resist, and we might get a win here and there, but we're in for 4 years. And don't let anybody tell you differently. And then when things don't sound quite right, like Snoop Dogg suddenly just changing his mind about Trump, know that there's something up. Develop the gut for this, the common sense for this. And when you got MAGA idiots saying, well, unless you can show me conclusive proof, well, we know what that is. That's BS. You don't talk to those people. So I'm grieving about what's happening to our country already and what the rest of the world knows is happening, embracing themselves as well. I think it's going to be a lot worse than we ever thought. But I did just want to set the record straight about a couple of things, about Joe Biden and his presidency, his excellent presidency, his very excellent presidency, and the fact that things should not have turned out this way. Because generally speaking, if you do a fantastic job in your job, you or your handpicked successor should do pretty well, at least your party. But again, first president in history to have job growth in every month of his presidency. He brought us back from the pandemic destroyed economy that Trump caused, and that crippled our economy. This is what Joe Biden was facing. He fixed it. And this is how the country repays him. This is how our media repays him. What they wanted was drama and chaos, insanity, crime, threatening people, death and destruction. That way they don't have to work so hard for the clicks and ratings. And now he has this influence where CNN is going to be moving Jim Acosta to the wee hours in the middle of the night. People have referred to him as a Trump critic. What he does is he reports on Trump accurately. And so this is a signal to the other reporters, the other journalists at CNN, not to do that. This is just the beginning, folks. Hang on, because we are in for a bumpy ride, to say the least.